Hey guys, welcome back to a video. In today's video, we're gonna be learning about abstraction. So before going into the video, I would appreciate you guys liking and subscribing the video, and feel free to comment. So let's go into the topic. So first, let's see what is the definition of abstraction. So, abstraction is a way of hiding complex details to focus on the important or essential details. So basically, it is used for two things. So this is the first thing. It is used for hiding complex details, which are basically hiding the details which you don't want, and then you can access the essential details. So that is the first thing, good thing about abstraction. And the second thing is, so let's say you have a template right now. So you have a template that creates a car. So basically you have a vehicle template, and then that's gonna create many like cars, boats, and everything. Okay, and then we don't want the user to access that template, but we just want the user to access the car or the boat or something like that. We don't want him to use the vehicle template. So these are the two reasons why abstraction are used. So first, let's see with a class without abstraction. So first I'm gonna have a vehicle class to make it more clear, and then I'm gonna have an init function which is just gonna have its name. So I'm gonna have an init self name. So those are the parameters I have. Self dot name equals name, and now this is just a template. So let me create a class that inherits this, and you have to know inheritance and classes and objects too to learn this. So now let's see about the inheritance or inheriting the vehicle class. So let's see a class. I have a car class over here which is going to inherit the vehicle, and then this is my thing that you should have to use. And then inside this I'm gonna import or get the self.name and everything else and name, and this time I'm gonna get the instead of using self.name, I can just use the super, which is already predefined by Python, and then I can just use the init method. So I'll use init, and then have these instead of having self, you have to just use name, because super is already referring, and it doesn't accept it. It's gonna take like you have many arguments, so it's not gonna work. So we have our two classes over here, and now we have to create an object so that we can inherit or use them. So first I'll have to create an object. So my object will be named as 4 because I'm gonna import or give the value as 4 as the name. And now I'm gonna access the car class, which is gonna have the vehicle Ford. And now till here it's pretty clear. Oh, and one more thing, we have to make the print function. So let's make it real quick. I have the print function on my own. Even also you can even use the str method to even return it or print it instead of using like me. So anything works. And now let's use Ford dot. Let's use the print. Until here is the perfect thing what we want. So it's gonna print us Ford. See, this works. Still here is pretty clear. Everybody can understand this, right? But let's say the user does not access this car. So let's say the user does not access this and he accesses the vehicle. And now it's gonna come as an error because we don't have any print statement inside it. So we have to create the print statement, and then he's gonna be kind of like accessing like that. So that's what we don't want him to do. So that's why abstraction is used. So instead we also can use, instead of that, first let's use abstraction. So first, what we have to do is we have to import something called ABC, which stands for Abstract Base Class. And now we have to import inside that something called ABC in capital case, and then we have to have our abstract method inside it. So basically, abstract method is also predefined, and now it have to work. And remember, don't keep that comma right there. I kept it by mistake, so you don't have to. And as you see, this is not accessed still. So now let's use it. First, we have to have an ABC inside this. So ABC. So basically, this is called an abstract class. This is an abstract class, and this is a concrete class. Why is it called concrete class? Because we can directly access it, and this is pretty normal class. But this is called abstract class because we are using ABC and also having the abstract method inside it. And whenever I access that and then like access it, so let me access it, and now if I print this, it's gonna come an error. Why? It's saying a type error. Can't instantiate abstract class vehicle with abstract method in it. Why is it coming? So that's what we wanted to be in this. So whenever the user try to access it, it have to say an error. So which means the user should not access the class. So that's what is the first thing about abstract method or abstract class. So now let's see one more thing. As I said, you can now access the template. So this is kind of like not accessing the template, and here we are accessing the template. So now I can create a lot of variables saying class both, and then it's gonna have the same parameters inside it, which is gonna basically inherit the parent class, which is vehicle. But this abstract method will not allow people to use this class. So if I have a print statement and I access this, it's gonna print us, but it's not gonna like give us actually. So whenever the user tries to use the template, it should come as an error. As you see, whenever I run this, it's coming in as an error, can't instantiate. So basically what it means is it cannot do anything with that. Okay, so now let's see another example using abstract class. So first, let me delete this whole thing right there, and then we can use this delete thing. So now we have to import something called ABC, which stands for abstract base class. We are gonna use the two things what we have to use for abstract class. We're gonna import, which is called, let's take ABC in capital case, and gonna have also abstract method. So we're gonna have that, and then first let's focus on not accessing the template. So first we have to create a class named employee details. So this is the details which will be stored, and the employees who will join the company are gonna inherit these details. So we have our details right there, and now we're gonna have an init function which is gonna have these names and everything else. So let's create the init function. It's gonna have name, ID, that's it. So we have these both, and now let's use self.name equals name and self.id equals ID. So that's what we wanted the users to do. So it's just gonna store their name and their ID. And now let's see how you create the employee inheriting. So basically, let's say an employee joined, employee 1. So he's the first employee in this company, and then he joined it. And then we have our employee details. He's inheriting them or getting them. And now we have to use the init function so that we can access it. And remember, we have to keep ABC, which we're gonna keep in a second after writing this employee thing. And in this, we're gonna have self, name, and ID as usual. But this time, as I said, you don't even have to use super, but this time we're gonna use employee details as normal. And then we can have our init function over there, have self in this. So we have to have self in while accessing the name. And if you have the super, you don't even have to have self in it. Self, name, and ID. So that's why super is used a lot. So yeah. And now we have to create a print statement so that this prints what they have. Print self, and then we're gonna print. Let's take self dot name and self dot ID. So that's what we're gonna print in this. So our first employee joined. Now let's use an object to store the first employee, and then this says let's take person 1, because he's a person that joined the employee. Person 1 is gonna store employee 1, and then we're gonna pass the argument. So let's take his John, and then his ID is 9876 and 123. So till here is pretty clear, and we also can even put phone number and everything, but that's gonna take a lot to write in it. So, and also you cannot use 0 as I said, because this Python does not accept leading zeros, so that's why it's not gonna allow us to use 0 at the front. So instead we could just remove the 0 and keep it anywhere you want. So that works. And now let's see how you print this. Person1 dot print, and then we use a print statement. So this is normal without like abstract class and everything. Now let's use the abstract class right here. So first we have to have an ABC, and I saw most of the people without ABC and then trying to use like add abstract method, which is not gonna work for you guys, and for me it's not gonna work too. So if I remove that, it's still gonna work for us because we are inheriting the child class, so that works. So but if you access this, that's still gonna work because we are not using ABC. So inside the ABC is the abstract method, so that's how this thing will work. And first we have to keep ABC in the parentheses, and now we have the thing over there. And now whenever we try to access employee details, and now whenever we pass the arguments, let's remove the print statement because we don't have any print statement right there. And now as you see, it's gonna print us an error, so we cannot access the template that is working. Now let's see what is another thing called hiding details. So we are basically hiding details inside this. So whenever I try to print employee details, it's gonna hide this thing because we have abstract method. So it's basically hiding from the user that uses. So I'm the user who's using this computer, and I'm trying to access the employee details, but it's not gonna appear for us because here we can see it's there, but why is it not coming? Because we are using abstract method. So abstract, it's kind of like a ghost kind of thing, so it's just making things like hide or to not appear. So we understand abstract method. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.